Hey everybody, this is Brother Phil. Just coming on and chit chat with you guys real quick. Just want to talk about the individual who refused to get the shot, and now they have fired him, and that's exactly where the rest of the world is going. NFL is helping out to promote, and probably the NBA, and probably every other sports arena is going to help out to convince the masses to take the shot. And it's over 50% who are refusing to take the shot. And we all know where this is going, okay? And I said this on a video. I know I said it on Facebook. I'm saying it on a video that the tighter things get with this shot, and the more it becomes a mandate, the closer we are to Christ's return. For y'all who watch this channel, we've been warning for quite some time that Jesus Christ is going to return. It's not the best channel in the world. I haven't really been on the channel as much as I, could have, but God had other things for me to do. But you see it. For you watchmen, you see it. You see what is happening right before our eyes. Even during the pandemic, go back a year, 2020, March, April timeframe. You go to a store and they were like, "We don't take money. We take, debit cards." And way back then, there was proof that times were changing. Times were changing. So we are headed to a cashless society. Also, there is economist. There's a economist named Michael Burr, who there was a show, a movie made off of him called The Big Short, The Big Short. And in The Big Short, and in the real life, the movie's based off real life. He was the one who predicted the housing bubble in 2007, 2008, or the years leading up to 2007. And that's what made 2007, 2008 crash happen. He also was the one who predicted the dot-com bubble in the late 90s, 99 to be exact. Now he is predicting that there's going to be another correction with this guy. Now, this guy is kind of strange. As a Christian, I don't know if you should go watch the movie. It's up to you. But it has a few cuss words in it. I watched it a long time ago. That's how I remember it. And he was telling everybody he had to create his own market. So in other words, the stock market wasn't trading these shorts. They weren't trading these swaps. So he had to create these swaps. So once he created these swaps, he sold them to people, and they bought these swaps, and he ended up because he was managing a fund, and for his investors, he ended up making them $700 million, and he kept $100 million for a fee. So he made himself rich. So now Michael is predicting that, first of all, he predicted that inflation would kick in just recently and he said that, and that's pretty mean. You could have predicted that. That wasn't hard to predict, because I remember telling my wife, man, all of these people getting their stimulus check, that's going to cause inflation. But the rest of the economists wasn't predicting that, though. Me and you, simple people, can predict it, but the rest of the super economists wouldn't have predicted it, especially the ones in the mainstream. But Richard Dent and Rupert Murdoch and all of these guys are predicting a stock market correction, a stock market crash. But Michael Bloor, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, I might be butchering it, but he predicts that the market will crash worse than 1929 and 2008 put together. And I believe him, um, you know, to a certain point. But if you put everything together, what's happening now, including the weather patterns, the bad weather patterns, and the heat wave and the floods across the United States and the world, you know something's brewing. You just don't know, exactly when these things are going to take place. But some of these people are pointing, like Richard Dent pointed out, that the top of the market was in June. So that tells you how quick he thinks is going to happen. Okay. And also, um, when you look at the 80 generation, the Bible, and says in Matthew 24, it says, Jesus is the speaker. It says, this generation shall not pass until all these things be fulfilled. All what things? All the things that are written in Matthew 24. So he's saying that this generation will not come to pass. That includes Jesus Christ coming on a white horse and coming in and on his throne with power, with all power and glory. That means everything comes to an end. He said, this generation will not pass until you see all these things be fulfilled. So the generation, he says, now learn the parable of the fig tree. The fig tree is Israel. In 1948, Israel became a nation. You add 80 years to 1948, you come up with 2028. All of these things that are happening now in 2021 could be the reason that things are coming to an end. Okay. And also there is a guy, and I can't remember his name. He wrote a book. It's called The Fourth Turning. I don't know if some of y'all familiar with the book called The Fourth Turning. He's not a Christian or nothing, but he's predict that every 80 years is broken up into 20 years. And 80 years is broken up to 4, which are 20 years. And each 20 has a, so it's a cycle. And, first you become creative, then you become, you get creative, and then people start to become vocal with their coming out and saying, well, revolution. And then after that, they become, they become innovators first, and then they become revolution. They start a revolution, and then it starts to fall apart. But I'm gonna do a video on that. I kind of did a poor job of trying to explain it, but right now, from 2008 to 2028, or actually 2030, that is another turning. It's a matter of fact, it's the last turning of an 80-year generation. No kidding. So this turning started in 1946, and it goes all the way up to 2028, around that time period. So, in other words, things are at its worst, and then you're supposed to come out of it. I always think of like 2012, the movie, or Deep Impact. They go into these silos, and then they come out, and it's sunny outside, and the birds are singing now after the world got destroyed. Well, that's what they're saying that this is supposed to be. It's called The Fourth Turning, and I apologize for not having the correct details, but folks, we are in some miserable times. So, God told me to go on Facebook and stay on Facebook. And now, since I'm on YouTube, I apologize for not being on here, but God told me not to come on YouTube. And I got 1,000 and almost 200 subscribers. And I'm pretty sure if I would have been doing videos, I would have probably had a lot more. But I appreciate you guys. Like the video if you're watching. And subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber, and help us get the word out. That time's short, folks. I I just said this 2 weeks ago. I think my last video, even on YouTube, I said that the biggest sign, of course, is Israel becoming a nation. But a bigger sign, a big sign, is when you see, at least for us to see, Israel became a nation. How many years ago? But be able to see the NFL and to be able to see my wife's corporation that she works for, send them out a letter saying that they have to get the shot, and if they don't, they're not complying, so they're gonna have to sign a contract. They're gonna just sign a letter, and even if the letter says that, hey, well, you can still be employed here, and you don't have to, you don't have to take the shot right now. That doesn't mean tomorrow they're not going to have to take it. And hearing them call us the unvaccinated, that's bad enough. And then you hear the president of Britain and the president of France saying that, and they saying that the unvaccinated is the ones making people sick. I mean, if you really just think about it for a minute, just think about this let that soak in for a minute. I mean, what if it's the vaccinated that's making people sick? So I have nothing. I'm not going to sit here and argue with nobody. I'm just going to make sure I'm ready for when Jesus Christ comes, for those who believe in a rapture. And, warn your friends. You might disagree with me, but read the Bible carefully. I believe it's Hebrews 9:28. I believe it's Hebrews 9:28 or 10:28, one of those. But it says he's only coming to those who are looking for him. So if you're post-trib, are you looking for him? If you're mid-trib, are you looking for him? Part of the wedding ceremony, remember, Jesus is the bridegroom and we're the bride. Part of the wedding ceremony in the old times of Israel is that the father pays a dowry of the male, the husband, the future husband his father pays a dowry to the girl's father, and says, "My son will be back to get your daughter for marriage, and he's going to go prepare a place in my house." So he goes and prepares a place, and when it's ready, everybody can see it's ready because you can see the house. You say, "Oh yeah, the house, the extension is ready." So everybody knows it. It's ready. It's ready. Well, same here. We can see what's going on, and we know it's ready. It's just a matter of time, and it's here. And if you don't want to be here, and if you're opposed to mid-trib, I suggest you change all millennials. It's all going to work out. No, it's not. And I know people don't believe me. We're in apostasy. That's what I don't understand. A lot of times is people say, well, that's the way we interpret the Bible. What if we're not supposed to interpret it by ourselves? What if the Holy Spirit is the interpreter, and he interprets that I'm coming to get in my Father's house? There are many mansions. If it was not so, I wouldn't have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go to prepare a place for you, I'll come again to receive you unto myself. There I am, there you will be also. Comfort one another with these things, found in Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 16 and 17. So Christ is coming back for his church. And then we have to be prepared. We have to be ready. We cannot just assume because we said a sinner's prayer 20 years ago or even 5 years ago that we're going to be ready for his coming. So keep that in mind. Anyway, God bless you guys. See y'all later. I'll try to do another video. Keep doing these videos. God bless.